and welcome back once again. Now, this will be our first illustration video of the cutting processes. Now, these are the measurements I'm going to work with. Now, this outfit is owned by, let's use Mr. Redefined. Let's say Mr. Redefined. Now, I will encourage you know our clients by name and as well take their proper measurement. So I have measured mine, and if you have not taken your own measurement, try and get a video of measurements and get your measurement properly done. Now, when you get measurement done, then the next thing you are going to do is the real cutting processes. Now, this is the chest line I have, 2.5, shoulder of 18.5, neck of 17, sleeve length of 26.5. That's for long sleeve. Now, round sleeve of 14, 13.5, 9. I believe we know where these values come from. Now, top leg is 34, waist 37, hip is 47, flaps is 26, knee is 18, ankle 13.5, trial length of 42.5. Now, I want to explain more on the similarities between the waist and the hip line measurement. Now, these two areas are the areas that you must know that the difference must be 7 to 10 inches for an appropriate measurement. If you're having a measurement that is less than 7, you're not correct. Now, the gap that your waist line will give your hip line should at least 10 inches, at least 5, 7. Now, even though you are a slim person, as well, when taking a measurement of a client, ask him to spread his leg a bit. That spreading will allow him to walk freely or cross gutters when he wears your outfit. So the difference of my waist to my hip now is 10. So yours can be 8, yours can be 9, yours can be 5, but the least you can have is 7. So don't have a measurement that is going below 5. No, it's not acceptable. So try and locate your error if it's either in your waistline or in your hip line measurement. So these are the measurements we're going to work with, and I'm going to use it to cut an outfit right now and then tell you how to apply the previous video I did on armhole and neckline derivation. So we are going to start cutting now. Right now, I have folded my fabric, and the folding, normally we know how we fold our trouser, but I will explain again. Now we fold with the two edges coming together. Now I have folded. Now make sure you have a smooth edge here. Make sure you have a smooth edge here. Automatically, your right hand side is the down of the trouser, the left is the waistline of the trouser. So usually, the first thing you need to do is you apply your 2 inches here. Apply your 2 inches here. Now, this pattern of trouser I'm using now is for a Pence trouser. That's for those of us that want to know how to do the Pence trouser. This is the pattern I'm going to use for it. Now, the 2 inches is for the hemming, that's the folding of the trouser. Now, the trouser length I have is 42.5. You apply your 42.5 on from the 2 inches mark, 42.5. Now, you now get your waistline. You now get your waistline. Now, you now have your waistline mark. Now, here becomes my waistline, here becomes my ankle line. Now, the next thing we need to do now is to derive our armhole. Now, like I told us, armhole is your hips over 4. So my hip is 47 divided by 4 is going to give me 11.75. For 11.75. Now, if you look at the trouser line I have 42.5. So for this particular trouser now, I'm going to use a crouch of 11.5. That's 11.5, 11.5. So that's the trouser crouch I'm going to use for the best fit. Now, I would have as well used 11.75. Now, but the essence of this video is for you to know the extent of reduction I might give, or the extent I'm going to use when you divide your hip by 4. So you can decide to use 11.5, 11.75, or 11.8, but don't go below 11 for this particular trouser crouch. So now this is the crouch I'm going to use. So this becomes my crouch. So let's mark for the trouser. Now, on the waistline, you mark 11.5. 11.5. Now you extend the line properly. Now from that edge, you apply 11.5.75. That's 11.5.6.7, which some call 11.75. So 11.75. You add 2 inches. The 2 inches is standard. You must add 2 inches. Now my waistline is 37. Now remember the waist is something. 37 divided by 4 is going to give me 9.25. 9.25. So which is 9.3. So from here to the waistline, you mark 9.3. You add extra 1 inch. Extra 1 inch to it. Extra 1 inch. Now you go to the ankle line. Now the ankle line, the ankle I have here is 13.5. So because of the issue of the half, when cutting you can cut at 14. Then when you're closing the trouser, you can now use the real measurement here to close. So the ankle I'm having here now, I will now use 7 to mark, but when I'm closing I will use 13.5 to close. So you mark at 7 here. Now for the Pence trouser nature, once you mark 7 inches here, you come up a bit, mark 7 inches as well. Now the distance you can go is possibly 9 inches or 10 inches upwards from the 2-inch hem allowance. Come up by 9 or 10 inches upwards for you to know where to raise your 7 inches to. So having done that, you connect the 2 markings from here. You connect it down to that point. So when you connect it down to this point, you extend it this way. Now with the help of your hip curve or your curves, you connect them. You use your hip curve, connect from your 2 inches allowance. You place it in a way that you have a connection. Place it this way. Now when you go down, you as well try to make them to rhyme, so you have a marking of this nature. Now you come to your hip waist allowance. Connect your waist allowance to your real hips. Now at this point, I'll give you a trick that the least thing you can see is having your waistline and your hip line to be in a straight line. On no condition or no circumstances should your waistline be greater than your hip line. So most of the times your waistline is inside of your real hips. So the worst you can see is to have a straight line, which is obtainable in children. So whenever you're making your marking and you are seeing the waistline and the hip line are they are even, no problem. But if it's the waist is more than the hips, you have to go back to your measurement to check where the error is coming from. So the measurement should be in this slanted form from your waist allowance to your real hips. So having done that, now I slant my trouser by 0.7. That's half plus 2. That's 0.7 here. 0.7. Now you take it out to the tip of the trouser this way. Now you mark your zip from the slanting. You mark 7 inches down for your zip. 7 inches. You extend it 7 inches. Now from your pocket, now a standard pocket is 7 inches deep, but in most cases you have to manipulate those measurements to suit your individual clients, because you can't use measurement for client A to sew for client B. So you have to manipulate. So this pocket now, I'm going to use 7.5 for him. 7.5. Now you bring it down 7.5. Now the top pocket notching, I'm going to use 2.3. 2.3. Now you now raise from your crotch line to this upwards, which gives you your real hip line. 2 inches upwards. Now from the intercepts, mark 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch inwards. With the help of your curve as well, you connect. You connect. Now when you connect this is what you're going to have. Now this kind of trouser will give you a perfect fit trouser, a best nature of trouser. Now before you cut, you have to cross check your measurements if they fall inside your markings. Now my lapse is 26 by 2 is 13 by 2 is 13, so my lapse is inside the marking. Had it been my lapse now forced off the marking, it's either you increase your hip or you reduce your lapse. So but at this point my lapse 26 by 2 13 is inside my marking. Now my knee is 18 by 2 is 9, so you cross check if it's falling inside. So how do you know the point of your knee? You know the point of your knee by marking 22 inches or 21 inches from your waistline downwards. So here is the point of my knee, so you have to apply your lapse there, your knee there. So 9 is my knee and it's inside my trouser. So this is how you're going to cross check your measurements before you cut. So having seen that my measurements are correct, I'm now going to cut. So right now I've cut out the front panel of the trouser, so I'm going to use this now to place and cut the back. Now having cut out this, now there's one particular movement you normally make. Looking at the trouser now, this is the hip line, is the bigger area. Now looking at this area, here is bigger or here is big, so you now have to take this to turn it upside down to this area. But before you do this, make sure that you don't have any image on the fabric, like anything like church building or any image on the church on the fabric, because if you do that the trouser will be facing downward, which is not making sense. So I'm going to turn this now to face this way to save material. So when you do this, you now have your material in the best cutting position. Now when you place your trouser, you now have to extend your trouser markings by 2 inches for the back. So you have to adjust this 2 inches from here, 2 inches. So you have to adjust it 2 inches. Now you check here as well, 2 inches. So when you get the exact point you want, you now start to apply 2 inches. So from here, you mark your 2 inches. Some can use 1.5, 2 inches, 2 inches, 2 inches. Now you extend the line of your hip line outside. Now extend the 2 inches as well, 2 inches. Now with the help of your hip curve, you position it very well to connect the lines. You connect. Now try your best to make them rhyme. Connect them properly. Off. So illustration of the trouser cutting, we can now do our cutting or our markings and present before we go to the processes of the coupling aspects. and then I will prefer you snap your markings and send across before you go to cutting processes. So the next video that will come up will be, okay, I will make one for the component of the trouser right now. So this is for the front and back cutting, so I'll make another video for the trouser components.